Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Young here, and today I'm back on a Fortnite video, and in today's video, I'm going to give you guys some of my best tips and tricks when it comes to not panicking during gunfights. I'm going to give you guys some of the best tips that I can think of when it comes to doing exactly that, and I have some really good tips in this video, so make sure you guys stay to the end. And before we get into the video, I have a weekly V-Buck giveaway. I'm going to be giving away V-Bucks every single Friday, and if you guys want a chance to win some free V-Bucks, all you guys need to do is to drop a like on this video, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, and as well subscribe to my second channel. I post a ton of really good content on there, so make sure you guys do subscribe, turn on my post notifications, and as well leave a comment down below of your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account. And if you guys would like to support me as a creator in the item shop, all you have to do is go over to the item shop, go into the bottom right hand corner, support a creator, and type in my code. My code is Young Humor. Type it in and you guys will have me support it as a creator. And alright guys, let's get to the video. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks how to never panic in your gunfights. And I have a few tips and tricks in this video that I think is really going to help you guys out a ton. And so when it comes to going into the gunfight, I feel like the number one reason people end up losing that gunfight is because they end up panicking and they end up missing their shots. Maybe they overshoot, maybe they shoot a little bit to the left or right. So they end up missing their shots completely because they panic too hard. Maybe they're going against a player who they thought was really good, and it happens all the time. It used to happen to me a ton going into arena mode and running up against players game after game that were just extremely good. So it took a little bit of practice and a lot of patience to really learn how to outplay those players and just not panic and just really dominate every gunfight that I go into. So first off, I think it really boils down when it comes to panicking in gunfights is coming down to confidence in that fight. Because let's just be honest, if you're going up against a player who's a default and you just see they're completely clueless, they have no idea what they're doing, they even have their pickaxe out, or maybe they pull out a sniper in the middle of a gunfight, when you're going up against those type of players, it's really simple and you're not going to be panicking that much at all because you know the player isn't going to be doing anything crazy and more than likely they're not going to hit any shots whatsoever. So you're not really too worried, you're not panicking at all. But then again, if you're going against a player who you know is very, very good, so it could even be in a 1v1 or maybe you're in a public match arena mode, or you're going against someone that you know is going to be very good. They're building a ton, they're hitting all their shots, or maybe they get that first shot on you, so you're in the gunfight and then they end up hitting you for 130 damage right off the start. And of course, in a situation like that, even for me, I might panic a little bit, but I know exactly the best way to handle it. So there's a lot of different reasons in which you might panic in a gunfight, but I would say the main reason, like I said at the beginning, what it really comes down to is confidence in that fight. When you're going against a not so good player, you're not going to be panicking at all and it's going to be very easy to win that gunfight. But if you're going against someone better, then it is going to be a little bit more difficult and you are a ton more likely to panic in that fight and end up losing the gunfight just because you're choking your shots or whatever the case may be. So I think that's really important to consider. But when it comes to improving in this skill or just getting better in gunfights, feeling a little bit more confident and not panicking as much, there's a few things that you can do and a few tips I want to share in this video that I think can really help you guys out. So the first thing you can do is just to practice a ton of different things, because it happens a ton especially when I start panicking or I go against those better players. Those better players that I'm going against know most of the tips and most of the techniques in this game. They're going to be working the best, and if I want to counter it, then I have to pretty much do a lot of things and sometimes even a few things a little bit different that I would normally do, because they could force me into a certain direction that I have to build in, or maybe I would have to use a technique that might be better in that specific situation. So I think the best way to do it is to improve in all aspects of the game. Just really improve at everything that you really can, because you're going to be going into situations all the time against those really good players who are going to be knowing pretty much every technique in this game. So if you want to be able to outplay and counter those type of players, and especially without panicking and being able to control in that fight, you really just have to practice a ton of new things and a ton of different things over and over again. So that could be some building techniques that you're not very good at, and it really could be, I talked about previously, the exploits that come into the game. There's a ton of them. There's a new one, and this new exploit in the game that came out, and it's basically just a door exploit for those of you guys who have made a door in the last, probably, I think it's been in the game for maybe about a week. So basically what would happen is you make a door, and right after you make the door, it basically shows as there's a window, but the door doesn't show up to a good second later. So once you make the door, you're able to shoot just in time, and this is really going to catch a ton of people off guard because it really is a glitch in this game. I think they're going to fix it up eventually, but it's just one of those new things in the game that you can take advantage of. So you make the door, and then immediately you can go for the shot right after, and they are not going to be prepared at all, and there's going to be absolutely nothing they can do. So I would really recommend trying to learn those different things that are coming into the game, because exploits like that you might as well just take advantage of. Even though there are exploits that are not supposed to be in the game, you just might as well take advantage of it and just use it while you can. And even if you are the type of player to not really go for those type of things, I think it's just really important that you still know what they are, because you're going to be running into players from time to time, especially if you're in a competitive setting, if you're playing in arena mode, anything like that, or just going against those better players in public matches. They're going to be the type of players to go for those type of plays. So I just think it's really important to know and exactly how to counter it, just in case other people go for it. So maybe for the type of player who doesn't really like to go for those type of things, just knowing what they are and just how to counter it can be really important, because you are going to be running against those players who do know about those exploits and are going to be trying to use them against you. But if you do know what they are, it's going to be a ton easier, and it's just going to make you panic less, because you know exactly what's going to happen, and you know exactly the type of play they're going to be doing even before they do it. And I think that's a really good thing to master too. It's just getting really good at predicting the other players and what they're trying to do, because a lot of people in this game are going to be going for the same specific plays over and over again. I see it all the time. Certain players are going to be going for certain plays, and once you play the game a ton and you start going into a lot of the gunfights, you're going to notice a pattern against a certain type of players that you play against, because certain players are going to be going for certain type of plays, and once you really understand that, it's going to be very easy to counter it, because you know exactly what they do before they do it. And if you know exactly what the other player, or at least have a pretty good idea at what the other player is going to do after or during that fight, it's going to be so much easier to counter, and it's going to make you panic less, because you know exactly what's going to come next, and there's not much the other player can do to really catch you off guard. And the next thing I want to talk about, and as far as other people just, for the other players that are catching you off guard, because it happens all the time. You're running throughout the map, maybe you get hit with a sniper shot from 100 meters away, you didn't even see the player, so now you're down to 100 HP. And so when it comes to things like that, and things that are really unexpected and you really can't control, so the best way to go about it is, for me personally, I have kind of like my go-to strategy. If I get shot, I'll do a certain type of thing, so I'll either build a 1x1 and then try to get the heal off. But if I can't get the heal off, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep building, but I'm going to keep backing up. So I'll make a 1x1, back up, make another one, and back up, and basically go far enough to where I can get my heals off, because once I get my heals off, I know I can challenge in that fight. So just different things like that, just having like a go-to strategy, I think could be very important and very crucial when it comes to being a little bit more consistent when you get caught off guard, because trust me, it's going to happen. It happens pretty much almost every single game for me. There's going to be a point where I get completely caught off guard, the other player does something unexpected, I get hit with a sniper shot, or maybe the other player in a gunfight hits a headshot and I really wasn't expecting it, and I lose almost all of my HP. So there's going to be a certain few go-to strategies, at least for me, that I do. And just one of those things that I think is really important. So if you ever get shot like that, at least have some go-to strategy. I think that could be very helpful just for when you get caught in those situations. Just having some sort of backup plan, or something that you usually do time after time again. And this really just going to take practice and just understanding what you have in your inventory. Because a lot of the times, the stuff that I do, it just takes me a little bit of time to get used to, because when I'm trying new things, and that's also another thing that I would recommend you guys do, is not only try new things, as I mentioned that earlier in this video, is once you try those new things, or if you try something that you already tried in the past, you just really practice it over and over again and try to get the best you can at it. Because once you get really good at a certain type of move, if you do that a lot in the game, it's really going to help you guys out. So if you guys are really good at editing, then in your game you should practice and focus on doing a lot of edits. If you're really good at building, focus on doing a lot of building. Maybe your accuracy is a lot better, so focus on accuracy. Just really focus on the points that you're very good at and that you know you're very strong at in the game, and you're going to be winning a lot more gunfights, and you're not going to be panicking as much, because you know you can outbuild the other player. Maybe you're better editor, so you can catch the other player off guard with a few edits. Just different things like that I think are going to be very helpful and give you such an advantage in this game, and just help you guys from panicking a little bit more. But for those of you guys who are a little bit newer at the game or don't play as much, the best way to do is just to practice the things that you think are going to help you guys the most. So if you think that building will help you guys the most when it comes to games, maybe you're losing games consistently because you're maybe getting outbuilt, different things like that, I'd really just focus on the points to your game you feel like you're lacking the most, and that's going to help you guys out a ton when it comes to panicking, and overall just be a lot more confident in the gunfights you're going into. And with that being said, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, hope you guys learned something, and if you guys could drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, turn on my notifications so you're notified for every single new video, and alright guys, I'll see you next video.